Alright, welcome for this new value set of Rustify. How I got my Rust job in less than 4 months without any prior knowledge of Rust. This is what we are going to see today. I highly suggest you to watch this video, especially if you're a TypeScript dev, because I was a TypeScript dev before. I learned Rust, and in less than 4 months, I found my first Rust job, and it was one of the best moves of my career as a developer. So hopefully you will also make this move. Maybe first, who I am, I'm Max Wells, so I'm a Rust developer for 2 years. I've been working in Dubai for 1 year, and working in Dubai, I increased my income by more than 2, just because I was a Rust dev. And Rust devs are paid much better than TypeScript dev, okay? So in this video, we will see different steps. So the first one, blue ocean, red ocean, then cost of inaction, show what you can do, LinkedIn strategy. So it's the first video, it's the first kind of video I'm making like this. So I just want to test the concepts and I will improve after. Okay, so blue ocean, red ocean, you probably know the difference. So red ocean is when it's red, so a lot of sharks, and it's very competitive, very difficult, and it's actually the landscape of TypeScript devs, actually. Because you know that there is a lot more and more TypeScript devs, because TypeScript it's quite easy, because it's JavaScript, and JavaScript is a easy language. And thanks to AI, there is a lot of new TypeScript of new devs in general, but usually devs choose TypeScript first. And it makes that for the same number of job offers, there will be more and more developers for the same number of job offers. And you also know that the job offers tends to decrease. So it means that if you still try to get a job as a TypeScript dev, it means that it will be more and more difficult, okay? Because this is a red ocean. And on the other hand, you have blue ocean, and you already understood, blue ocean is for Rust developer, okay? Because Rust is still quite of a niche. And the thing to understand is that there will be more and more demand for Rust. Why I'm telling this? Because of this graphic. So you probably know this, but it's a curve of adoption of new technologies. And so you have first the tech enthusiasts, the visionaries, pragmatists, conservatives, and then the skeptics, okay? And so for Rust, we are basically in here, okay? So we are in here, and the early majority is coming, not yet, but we are in somewhere here. For TypeScript, we are already somewhere here, okay? So it's already done, and this is why actually we have red ocean, okay? And why Rust is a good option here is because we are in here, okay? And you are still early, actually. If you want to learn Rust now, you are still early. And you will benefit from the best job offers and everything because you have started at the right moment. Especially with AI, it's more and more difficult. And by the way, if you want to have a video about this, I can do it also if you want. So this is what you need to understand. And especially for building application, I really think that today, 2026, it's like if you were discovering React in 2016, something like that, okay? And people who were discovering React in 2015 or 2016, today they have a very good salary, they have a very good job position because they are doing this for 10 years. And if you were to learn Rust today, 2026, you will be very paid off in the coming years, okay? Because of this curve. Because the issue is that on this curve, companies are still quite reluctant to use Rust because we are here, okay? But when we will be somewhere here, okay, it means that we will be in early majority, and it means that more and more companies will use Rust because Rust is just a better technology, right? And they will use Rust. And of course, they will need to have Rust developers. And if you were to learn Rust before, of course, it will be much easier for you to get the job here. Okay, this is why you need to learn Rust now. At least this was my way of thinking when I was starting to learn Rust. And as I've already told you, it was one of the best moves I've done so far. So of course, Rust has many advantages, so I will not go about all of them, but just a simple graphic, you already know that also. Rust is the most admired language for like 10 years or something like this. And this is not without reason, because Rust is, of course, much faster, much more secure, and so on. If you want also a video about this, feel free to ask me, but it's not the topic of today. Okay, so hopefully you understand the difference between red ocean, blue ocean. This is very important to have this in mind, because thanks to that, at least for me, from my experience, this is why I started to learn Rust, because I was feeling that I was in a red ocean, and if I were to continue TypeScript, it will not help me. And of course, blue ocean. So just starting to learn Rust was for me to go inside the blue ocean, so a little more risky, but at the time, it was a good move. Okay. So the question you need to ask is, especially if you're a TypeScript dev, whether you still take the blue pill, so TypeScript, or you take the red pill, Rust. For me, it was Rust. Hopefully, for you, it will also be Rust. And this way, you build Rustified. Okay. So hopefully, if you're still here, it means that you are still interested in Rust, and it means that you are hopefully inside here. And by the way, if you are still here, you are watching this video for 6 minutes or something like that, I have a bootcamp. You already know that, probably. So if you are interested in the bootcamp to help you to learn Rust and also to have a job very rapidly, as I did in less than 4 months, you can just send me a DM on LinkedIn, and we can see what we can do for you. Okay, so the cost of inaction. This is also important to have in mind, because actually just knowing that is not enough for you to act. At least it was the case for me. Just knowing that is not enough for me, was not enough for me to act. And what made me act was the cost of inaction, okay? Because just ask you this question: how much per day or per week or per month do you lose in money to not learn Rust right now? Just ask you this question: how much money do you lose, right? Because if you look at the salary of a Rust dev, it's around this. Okay, so for senior software engineer, okay. And if we look for Rust in particular, so you have a graphic here, you can see that Rust is around this amount. Okay, so it's quite a lot. It's probably better than what you have currently, and it's just because people took the decision to learn Rust. Okay, it's difficult for everyone. It was difficult for me also, but it doesn't matter. You start anyway, and you will see that in a few months, or maybe 1 year maximum, it will pay off 100%. Okay, so a few reasons to act now. So perfect timing, of course, the perfect timing does not exist. So the perfect timing is to start today, because otherwise you will never start. You will always have few reasons to not start now. So best timing is now. Okay. Also, cost of inaction. So as I've already told you, how much money do you lose every month not starting to learn Rust right now? Just ask you this question. And personal investment also. So you need to think about investments for yourself. Am I ready to invest in Rust right now to see the benefits in few months, 1 year, or not? Okay. Infinite circle also. So it's about the perfect timing. So finish the project. Of course, if you want to finish a project before learning Rust, very bad idea. Save money also. Wait for availability also. No, you need to start now. I started 2 years ago, and it was a very good move for me. And I strongly advise you to do the same. Also, bootcamp. So at the time, because I was not a Rust dev at the very beginning, I was a TypeScript dev before. Okay, and at the time, because I was a teacher actually before being a developer. Okay, and at the time, I've decided to take a bootcamp. So when I was starting, even in the bootcamp, we didn't learn TypeScript. It was just Ruby. But anyway, I started to learn dev also to counter this, right? And I started with a bootcamp, and actually, I think the bootcamp are really good to start learning, okay? So of course, I have a bias because I have also bootcamp, right? But I think it can help you to learn faster. At least it was the case for me, because you can have a few benefits for this. So the first one, practical skills. You will gain much more knowledge much faster to take a bootcamp from someone who has already done what you want to do, right? It will help you also to have hands-on on your personal projects, to build your own portfolio also. It can really help to find a job. Also, of course, professional network. So when you join the bootcamp, also you join other people, you join a network, and it's very helpful also to find a job. And also, as you can see, other benefits. So it can be bootcamp, it can be whatever, but it must be something that you are really committed to. Because if you are not committed, it will not work. Okay, so cost of inaction, hopefully it's clear for you. So when you understand the cost of inaction, you will act and you will start learning Rust. Okay, so once this is done, what you need to think about is show what you can do. Even, as you can see, even small. So any project you have, even small, the most important is to start now. When I was starting to learn Rust, actually, I started to post on LinkedIn directly. Even if I didn't have any project or whatsoever, I started to post on LinkedIn right away. And I strongly advise you also to do that. If you decide to learn Rust, please go on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever and commit to also publish regularly, because this is how you will probably also find a job. I found my job, so when I was showing you that, so for instance, I found my job in Dubai thanks to what I was posting on LinkedIn, okay? And it can be also the same for you. And of course, when you think about a company who wants to hire a Rust developer, do you think the company will take someone who say, like, I can do it? Or will it choose someone who show he can do it? Let's say, for instance, a plumber. She wants to find a plumber, right? Will he take the guy who is talking about I can do it, or will take the guy who show he can do it? Of course, the second guy, okay? And it needs to be the same for you. So for me, I was, as I mentioned, publishing on LinkedIn, and now my strategy will be on YouTube, okay? And I will publish one YouTube video per week and document my journey with Rust and to build trust, okay? So this is my way of doing. For you, it can be different, but at least you need to show what you can do. Okay, so for me, I will publish at least 4 videos per month. And as you can see, I've already started and it's just the beginning, okay? Remember also, very important, any project you have, even small, the most important is to start now, okay? Very, very important. Okay, and last but not least, so LinkedIn strategy. So if you decide to publish on LinkedIn, the strategy is actually extremely simple. To actually find a job, I mean, not to have likes or whatever, it doesn't really matter. To actually find a job, it's very simple. You need to show what you can do. So for instance, here is a simple post I've made, and I was showing what I can do with Rust, okay? So me, I'm specializing more in building cross-platform apps using Rust. So for you, it can be whatever, but you need to show what you can do, okay? And so for instance, on using this, so I was referring to this Rustify.com library I've made. And by the way, also, this is available for downloading on Mac now. And also, I was also talking on LinkedIn about other projects I have, so Leptest UI or other stuff, but you need to talk about what you can do. Very, very important. Okay. So yeah, first try today, first try for this kind of format. Hopefully, it was cool for you. So if you are still here, it means that you are interested in learning Rust. So if you want, you can also go on rustify.rs for the bootcamp. Then you will be able to join. Okay. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed and see you next video.